Hello everyone, Don here with the next update on the Corsair project. I was down here yesterday for almost 6 hours working on the gear, getting the last micro switches hooked up, installed, and triggerable. So I got all that done yesterday. And then I was doing some gear retraction, running into a couple problems with the solenoid that has to open to release the hydraulic pressure to go back into the reservoir to allow the gear to go move up and down. It was kind of sticking on me. They need a little more wattage on the coils, electrical coils that activate them. Problem was when the gear was all the way down and I had the lower switches removed to work on the upper, the pump remains running, and so you have to turn this master switch off to kill the pump. And in that running like that, deadpanning that pump, it puts quite a bit of pressure on the cylinder. So now you got to overcome that pressure in that cylinder for them solenoids to open, and they're just not a high enough wattage. They're only 11 watt coils, so when you're throwing 12 volts at them, that's less than an amp of current. So I did a bunch of searching this morning looking for heavier coils, which they do make. And then when I was watching some videos, I seen a guy working on his nitrous system, and I was like, well, there you go, those nitrous solenoids are a lot stronger than what I have here. So I started researching coils from those guys. So I think I found one. There's one I can get as a 2.6 amp or a 2.8 amp, and then they go up from there. They go up as high as 18 to 20, 22 amps, which is really big. So that'd be for the systems that have a lot of requirement for flow for the nitrous, and then they're also cycling them nitrous's duty cycle in them. Let me move my thing out. I wanted to kind of show you. We got the 3 greens there. I had to close the doors because the wind was picking up and the temperature's dropping. So I've been down here since noon, and it's probably going on 5 o'clock. So what I want to do is show you. I'm going to go ahead and cycle the gear up so you can see the switches switch off. Again, the tail's not moving. There you go. We've got left, right, blue, and tail green because the tail's still down. Now let's see if it'll reverse. There she goes. Both gears down, and again we've got the green light. Alright, let me bring this thing around here for you, and I'm still tweaking these gear doors over here on the left side. I'm having a fit with these left doors over here. Not pulling up tight. One of the problems I had was these here. These things were too tight against the strut. When they were going up, they were squeezing really hard. These things actually have a curve in them, and when it was going up, it was popping them. And I kept hearing this popping noise, sound like fiberglass. But it was this too tight, so I had to go get longer screws, put 1/4-inch spacers behind these, and put about 3 or 4 washers behind these. I had to drill the pop rivets out. So those fit nice now. I'm actually a little heavy on one side. I may have to shave the bushing down about a 1/16 of an inch. But let me go ahead and swing them for you. You're up. We're up. Switches turned everything off. It's working good. You see I got the left doors are nice and closed. Let's see if I zoom in on them a little bit. And the right ones I left off, so let me get this. Alright, I'm going to bring them back down. On this, I ended up switching the scissors on this, so now that door closes good. When I made them scissors on the back of the gear, I made them offset to help compensate for this clearance here. And when I had them in the plane, I had them on kind of backwards where the offset was going, making it worse. So I reversed them, and this one worked fine, but I reversed that one. It looks like that wheel over there is towed in now. So I'm going to have to get out here with a tape measure. I didn't bring one. I'm going to have to recheck the toe, but that side looks like it's towed in. This side looks okay. If I flip it back around the way I had it, then it tows that one out, but it doesn't make much sense why it's doing it. So let me bring this back down. Alright, let me show you what I did in here to trigger both of these switches. Dropping my screwdriver, flashlight. Where are we at? Okay, there's the two switches. And if you can see down there, see how I made that little lever right there? I welded a piece of stainless onto the head of a screw. So now that's wide enough to come up and trip both of those switches. Like so. I tried to make a video yesterday. I got 10 seconds into the video and the camera died. Apparently it was running out of battery and I couldn't do anything about it, so otherwise I would have had this video up for you last night. Again, what I ended up doing here, these were hitting too tight right here. So you can see I've got a plastic spacer in already, but I added that 1/4 inch one on the front end, one on each side, and then I added 3 or 4 like washers here. They're backers for pop rivets when you're pop riveting into plastic or something. So I got them on both sides. But now that's a little loose. That could probably be tightened up just a little bit. But that was the problem. This was hitting under here really hard and it wouldn't let this leg go all the way in. So now I've got that fixed. And again, this wheel, if I line up in front of this wheel and shoot it back, it's pointing out towards the tip of the tail. And if I line up over this wheel here, it's farther in from the tip of the tail. So it's, you know, this one's towed out more, so I'm like this, and the other side is towed in, which is pointing it out more that way. So I'm just standing here looking straight at it and it's towed in way too much. So, and there is a pretty sizable difference in the length of these adjustments from the center of this bolt to, say, here, this bolt, or if I go all the way back. I don't have a long enough ruler with me, but from here to here, these are all identical left and right. This one is like a 1/4 inch shorter than that one. That's what I needed to do to get the toe right on this, but really needs to go back even more to even toe out even more. But these were custom made. That the center line of this is offset because this rotates out, so this wants to hit the doors. So this is offset that way. The same way with that one. That one's offset to be shooting out that way. But if I flip this around, put this over here and this over here, then I got my toe out, but it seems backwards. If I flip it around, then this gets to be a problem because it puts more of it over here, and that's where the door has to, or puts more out this way, and that's where the door has to hit it. Because that thing is rotating around this way, so this is pointing down, but that's offset that way to give me clearance here from the door, and that's where I had to drill that hole to give that more clearance. So, alright, well, I've been down here long enough. I've been running the battery charger. That's why I got the cowling off. A couple people, new people I assume, were ask, what have I got for an engine? Well, there it is, folks. Subaru EJ22 2.2 liter 2200 cc, about 140 horse with a reduction gearbox on it. But I put the seat and floor and all back in, and I can't get to the bus bars, so I had to come out here to my jumper connections to ground it to run this, because if I just run off a battery voltage, then them solenoids are even worse. With the low voltage, it doesn't like to trip them. So, alright, I'm going to cut her off here, get home. I'll bring down some more stuff to recheck this, but this door is working beautiful. That one there, I'm trying to adjust it so they close all the way. There is adjustments to bring them up, but I was having still trouble with it, that inner door not clearing from hitting that linkage. Once I flipped it around, now it's beautiful, but the doors were still hanging. Alright, well, I'll come back. Let's see, yesterday was nice, 50s. Today it was supposed to be like 65. It did get warm, but now the weather's rolling in, the temperature's dropping, they're calling for rain. Tomorrow's supposed to be back in the mid-40s and rain. It's looking nice for the weekend, 60s again, upper 60s I think on Saturday. So next weekend I'll get back down here and I'll continue this. But as far as the switches, those are good, those are done. I'm going to call the company about them solenoids. Nitrous oxide systems have a bunch of them right now. They're got on clearance. They're like $26. Normally they're like $84, $76 to $84 a piece, and I need 2 of them. So if I can get the correct bore size, which I need a 1/2 inch hole, and then the height of the coil can't be more than 1.5 inches tall, 1.58, almost 1.6 inches tall. Otherwise it won't fit on the stem. So but they got some better, higher wattage coils that will take care of this little problem. Right there it worked beautiful, and I'm sure when it's running, you're going to be running even 13.5, 14 volts on the charging system, and the vibrations in the plane, it may work just fine. But for peace of mind, they're easy to swap. You just take the nut off, pull the coil off, unplug it, hook it back up with the butt connectors, whatever, and put her back in. So it's no big deal to swap them out. I took one out today to get the tag on it and get all the information off the tag, so I got it for my references. Took pictures, wrote the numbers down. Okay, I'm gonna end her here, folks. Keep it short and sweet. Make sure I got my power turned off. Yeah, see, it's still on. 3 greens. Power off, but see, it's hard to see in here. Let me hit it with my light, but I got the floor here. Come on, light. Not very bright. This thing should be brighter than that, but anyway, the seat floor is all back in. People kept questioning the wiring. Well, the wiring's underneath the floor. There's a piece of plywood underneath that cushion. It's plywood back here. That's solid. Can't see anything else. Got this back seat cushion in, so pins for the cowling and such. So I'm going to button this up. Call it a day, folks. Alright, as always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or concerns. I will answer them as we go along. Get this thing unplugged real quick so it shuts up. And throw the cowling on it, head for home. I'm going to take my trailer home with me to get it out of the way. I'm just going to leave this here, the cherry picker here, in my box. Pick up my thing, take my charger home, put this thing down. I got to get these out from under here. This just kind of helps stabilize the wings. See how she's flipping around on me. Don't want this to be in the way of anybody, so drop this down. Like so. Come down and move it out of the way. Alright, folks, I'm going to cut her off now, finally, and I'll probably see you guys again next Saturday. Today's only Tuesday, so again, I work Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So I'll catch up with you guys again, get this thing loaded up for you tonight, and I'll be back Saturday or Sunday, depending on weather. So for now, this is done and on out, and we'll see you on the next one.